Hi guys, I'm Shmee and today is a pretty unusual vlog. I'm uploading this a little bit later than when filmed. I'm filming it the morning after we've just arrived in the hills above Monaco from an epic road trip with my two new cars, the Ferrari FF and the McLaren 675 LT. That last night was popping away some lovely blue flames. So it's a beautiful morning up here. It's pretty early in the day, but this is the view we've got looking down the valley. Very, very special. But sadly for me, well, sadly in a sense, I'm actually leaving these two cars here in the south of France. And today I'm going to be getting on a plane first to Gatwick in London, and then from Gatwick to Faro, Portugal, because today, or tomorrow, I'm going to be test driving the new McLaren 570S at the Algarve race circuit. So this is going to be quite exciting. You might already have seen by now my review video if I've already uploaded it, and if I haven't already uploaded it, it will be coming very soon, I'm sure. There are some embargoes and things in place, but it's a little bit strange for me to leave the two cars here in France as a Brit while I'm going to Portugal. But then from Portugal I'll be flying back to London to meet up with my friends Paul from Supercars of London and Sam from Seen Through Glass to drive back down through France via Lyon, back down towards here in Monaco, or near Monaco. So a pretty crazy couple of days ahead of me right now. But for the moment, I'm going to be taken to the airport in the FF, thanks to my friend who's going to drive me over and bring the car back and look after them while I'm away. And I'll be back here in a couple of days' time, although you might already know that if you've followed all my social media pages. All very confusing. But I think for now I need to get my bag packed, get in the car and go to the airport. I'm looking forward to driving the new Sports Series. Here we are at the airport. Time to fly. And now I'm in Portugal at the absolutely lovely Conrad Hotel. There's a 650S here, 570S crawling through there. Tomorrow is going to be about the driving, but I seem to have brought some rather miserable weather with me, so I'm feeling a little bit sad about that, although it's supposed to brighten up in time for the drive tomorrow, where I'll be able to take a car out on the circuit and on the road as well. But the Volcano Orange 650S greeting everybody as they arrive here at the hotel, which is always very nice. Although we're getting very McLaren focused right now, aren't we, with me driving my 675 LT. I can't wait to get out the wheel of the 570S. I'm going to go in, check in, sort everything out, go up to my room. I think we've got a product briefing later on. Maybe I'll get a poke around a car or two at some point. Perhaps that'll be tomorrow morning. But here in Portugal, looking forward to it, and I cannot wait to drive this car. I was just about to say, nice one McLaren, room 570 for the briefing. And I spotted just outside, if it appears, there we go, McLaren Orange 570S. Cars are everywhere. And look at the room key cards they've given us. 570S key card, 570S the drive. I can find my room. But good setup so far. Lovely room here in the hotel, and a little model 570S to go with the drive. And I also just spotted over here, yeah, Bruce McLaren race car as well. Very cool. We've had a briefing on the car and everyone has gone for dinner, but before I go and get a bite to eat, I'm going to head straight out here onto the terrace, and you'll have to excuse it being slightly windy out here, but this is cool. We're up on the roof, as you can see, looking around, and McLaren have lifted up here with a crane. They showed us a picture a short while ago, a 570S coupe. So here we have the car. And I'm going to show you obviously in a lot more detail tomorrow, continued in this video, about the car, but we'll take a quick look around it now. Obviously, the introductory car of the Sports Series 570S, 570 PS, the power, 600 Newton meters of torque, 0 to 62 miles an hour, 100 kilometers an hour in 3.2 seconds, 0 to 124 miles per hour, 200 kilometers per hour, 9.5 seconds. Twin turbocharged 3.8 litre V8, 7-speed double clutch gearbox, and some very cool styling. They also showed us a design sketch from Rob Melville from 2012, and it was remarkable how similar to the final car that sketch looked, which was really quite cool. As well as an announcement that almost 1,000 orders have now been placed for the new car, the 570S, and its baby brother, the 540C, 540 PS, and the sort of slightly lower entry model to the series. There are going to be 2 more body styles in the sports series. There'll be a Spider that comes in 2017, and another style that will come in 2016, which I've heard some rumours about, but you'll have to wait and see a little bit more about that. Some pretty distinct features with this car. Aluminium body panels for the sort of rear fenders, very distinct lights design, lots of carbon fibre on this car around the rear. Optional specification, I'll show you more of that in a little bit more detail tomorrow. Has these sort of front winglets to divert the air through. Aerodynamics at work. The same here with this sort of crease on the bonnet that brings the air around and down through this upper side vent and also around the side. But by doing that and channeling the air down through here, through this sort of panel in the door, it means it doesn't have to have vents that stick out particularly far at the side, which would negatively impact the sort of aerodynamics of the car. Now to open the door, I've got to find the door button, which I've forgotten, just under here, but I think this one's locked, unfortunately. Yes, I'll have to show you the interior tomorrow morning. For the moment, I'm going to go and grab a bite to eat, but very cool to have a first glance of the car here. So stay tuned, because in a moment we'll be back in the morning, getting into the car to drive it over to the Algarve race circuit, where I'll be also shooting a full video that will probably have gone live before this one does, discussing the car, driving impressions, and sort of full look into everything to do with 570S. We'll be driving on the road to the circuit, long route to the circuit, then around the track, and then back to the hotel before I get back on my way back towards England. So I'm going to head in, get some dinner, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Good morning then, and here we are in the garage at the hotel where the cars are, and I'm going to be driving today in this one, the Mantis Green 570S Coupe. This car has racing bucket seats, and obviously I'm going to show you all around the car shortly. Sat here next to a red car, my co-driver, another journalist, is just currently getting set up in the car. The red actually looks really, really nice. And you can see the different wheel options, different spec options of the different cars we've got here. You see the interior with the new lower sill. Obviously, I'll explain all of this in due course. But we've got the touring buckets. I think I'm probably taking a little bit longer than I should. I should jump in the car in a moment and get ready to get told what to do. It certainly is a good looking machine. And like I say, this is the one that I'm going to be driving in, which I'm very, very much looking forward to. Here we go then, let's start it up. Familiar sound from the twin-turbo V8, although the acoustics of this car have of course been quite significantly refined. It's amazing how different it actually does sound versus 12C, 650S, P1, etc. We've got an electronic handbrake which will automatically release as I start driving forwards. But here we go, off at the wheel of the new McLaren 570S. I'm almost immediately going to turn on the active dynamics, where I've got it set for sport, and manual on the gear paddles, of course. Paddles, actually an interesting one, have the extended carbon fibre panels in this car, with the same precog system, which is why you get that click on the gearbox. As you can sort of pre-select the gear, so a gentle pull on the paddle sort of activates the gearbox to be prepared to shift, so that when you do then pull it and you get that secondary click, you're immediately into the new gear. Of course, we've got the 7-speed gearbox, which is a fantastic piece of kit, lightning fast. The setup in this car seems pretty good on that too. So yeah, weight-wise, 30 kilos or so, so I think you can slightly tell that it's a bit heavier than the LT. Obviously driving my 675 LT, quite familiar with the McLaren setup. Definitely the power is nice, kind of delivery, no shortage of it. I think when you do then put your foot down quite hard, slow down a little bit. You're going to get a bit of a kick in the back. Yeah, it's definitely not lacking. Here we are then at Portimao, a circuit I have seen many videos from myself. That sounded pretty good, didn't it? But I've never actually been here, so it's fantastic to visit and take a look at the track. I've heard that it is quite a tricky one to drive. Lots of undulations, ups and downs, corners you have no idea where they're going. Is it going straight? Is it going left? Is it going right? So hopefully I'm not going to struggle too much with that. The noise of the 570S is driving around while I'm talking is absolutely amazing. So that was a snippet before of the drive, I guess. There's a full video I'm going to put out with more sort of thoughts and opinions about the cars. Obviously I'll also show you in a bit more detail because right now we're surrounded by quite a few of them. There are a few more over in the pits as well. I'm going to go inside because obviously I'm going to be able to take one from here out for a drive on the track, and again I'll just put in some snippets of that, but there'll be a full piece with all the rest. This is more the story of the day, the story of being here with McLaren, experiencing the 570S press launch. Come round and hear this car start. I do like it in green. Very nice. This car you can tell is a US spec because it has the orange indicators, lamps in front, whereas a Euro spec or somewhere else they're in a sort of white, if I can point that there. I think they're about to head out in that car. But yeah, it's an absolutely lovely day. Unfortunately, the last few days out here for people test driving have actually been quite nasty, so I've got a stroke of luck on that one. I think McLaren have actually had the track here for a couple of weeks now, 3 or 4 weeks for this driving experience, and everything they're getting up to. But yeah, I'm going to go and it sounds good. They have really worked on the sort of harmonics and acoustics and made it its own thing. Let's wander towards the pit garage at the moment. Well, somebody was lighting it up there. So we come in. There are a couple of cool things in here, and I'll show them in a little bit more detail. Nice in the pit garage, we've got a couple of things like the monocell, the new monocell 2, 75 kilo object. We can see the headlights up here. Look at them in a bit more detail. They've done all this sort of strip lighting to make everything very small, save weight of course. Carbon diffuser that weighs nothing, and then all the paint samples and that side of things. If I keep coming through, everybody's just having lunch in here at the moment. Well, there were some cars out here, but I suppose they've all gone out to do some laps. I'll walk over towards the pit wall. Hopefully if we wait a moment we're going to be able to hear one coming. Obviously the way these press days work is that you have a sort of number of different cars, lots of different journalists going on rotation around the circuit, getting the opportunity to drive them. So in the meanwhile, what did I think of that drive while on road? Amazing, the different characters of course, how it can go from being so supple and soft and easy to drive to something very exciting. Different powertrain settings adjust things a lot, different sort of tonal harmonic sounds. One car pulling in, and I can hear a car coming. The cars are hitting about 275 kilometers down there. I do think it looks very nice in red. But yeah, I was saying the different sounds. So when you go from powertrain setting to sport, you get more of a pop and crack, and then you go to track, which is more sort of violent, and I suppose about being pure fast race car. Handling setting, again, you've got the normal sport track, which makes a substantial difference to the sort of suspension setup, which works pretty well even without McLaren's sort of fancy hydraulic system that's in the P11 cars. Nothing to sort of say is really missing, and drives pretty nicely. So I'm going to go and work out what the plan is with me, maybe grab a bite to eat, and then it will be track time.
Yeah, so the whole circuit's nice and dry now anyway, so we'll be able to push it on. You'll feel in normal mode as well on the first lap. There'll be a lot of traction there holding you back. It's quite soft, so it's not a aggressive traction control, but you'll feel that you want to release that, and we'll slowly just go through every lap. So even when you turn in here now, if you just jump on the power, you'll feel it just holds the car back. Right, so now I'm going to go to sport mode. So you'll just feel the car slightly stiffen up. One thing I want you to really have a feel of is are the gear shifts.
Yeah.
They're a lot more aggressive, especially when the car's loaded up on the revs. Now turning in. So when we start this next lap, I'm just going to go to track mode.
Okay, so that means that's my cue to be careful.
Yeah, to be honest, you'll find the car is very safe still in this mode. It's not until we go to dynamic, which I'll do next lap. Start to open up the wheel now, use a bit more track, that's it. Can you notice the kick again in the gear shift there, Nick? Yeah. And the suspension down the straight.
Substantially further.
So soft on the brake, now we use it harder as you come down the hill, turn in, and then back on the power. As we come around next lap, we'll go to dynamic mode, but you still see here the car's obviously changed now with its stiffness and responsiveness, but in terms of traction, it's still nice and safe. Like jump on the power now, it's space here. Just jump on the power and be aware of it, but hit the power now. Nice and easy over the top. Have a little play if you want to. That's it, hit the power. Sit back up the power. So see, it'll still let you just spin up those rear wheels all the way through here, won't it? So right, so yeah, we'll sweep in next to these.
Time to wrap up for the day here at the circuit. The cars have done their final hot laps just in time with the grey clouds coming in overhead. We're going to be jumping in a different car though now for the drive back to the hotel before I catch my flight back to London for things I'm doing again tomorrow. But it's been a brilliant day. The cars are absolutely fantastic. If you haven't already, watched my sort of full first drive with the car and you'll find out a little bit more about them. But big thanks, of course, to McLaren for having me here for this first drive. Absolutely loved it. This thing, 570S, is a brilliant car. Amazing prospect when you consider the price point, what it does and what it's capable of, and how well it performs, how much fun it is as well. That's the most important thing. It's a very nice one. But like I said, I'm going to grab a drink, then we're going to head out to the car and get ready to head off back to the hotel. We're arriving back at the hotel and we're on a particularly unpleasant road at the moment, the stones. It's not too uncomfortable. And look what we've got there. We have a 675 LT, a Delta Red part right there. That's exciting. And the red 570S as well. Look at the LT actually while I'm here though, see what's different about mine. Interestingly, this has the plate bracket on the front, so on my car I've actually put a sticker plate straight on the bumper, which is kind of dubious whether you're allowed to do it or not, but I didn't really like the look of this, and because I have such a short registration for mine, I didn't want to have the long plate stuck across, because I don't like how it works with the camera. It sort of hangs down over the carbon fibre and I think it's not the tidiest solution in the world. And this car has different, the other wheel versus mine. Oh, there comes another one. Literally cars everywhere, I think they're filling them up and that sort of stuff. So this has the other wheels which have the 675 LT logo, which is cool, but they're I think a little bit designed for me, a little bit over the top. But this is one of the hero specs, Delta Red with the whitey grey interior. Looking very clean. You can tell how much it's been driven by the colour of the exhaust, which is actually less purple than my car is. So, well, I say that, but the tips look pretty coloured. It's been run quite hard. One of the press cars. But I think more or less, more of them, this is going to be me wrapping up, because I'm going to be getting a shuttle from here at the hotel back to the airport, and then getting my flight back to London, where some very exciting adventures are taking place. And I think by the time I've uploaded this, you'll already know about it. But let's just say Blue Crew is growing. If I hadn't already revealed it, that's a bit of a giveaway. If I had, you already know about it. But exciting times, very exciting times. Back to London, straight on the road back to London. And this video is going out slightly out of sync, but thank you very much for bearing with me. I hope you've enjoyed seeing what it's like to come and attend one of the press days with a company like McLaren. Of course, a big thanks to them for having me along. Really appreciate the opportunity to drive the Sports Series. You never know, maybe one of those will find its way into my garage at some point in the future. Very fond of that good daily driving proposition. But I'm exhausted, it's been very hot today, shot some good videos, so I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you very much for watching. That's the end of this one, and I will catch up with you again very soon. Cheers! Hi Nick, how are you?
Hello, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Hi, nice to see you.
Pretty excited about today. I can see the car over there. Let's go straight inside.